Use the Force, Luke.
Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer, what a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming. You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
Hey ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Bow ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds. Welcome, everyone, to episode 46-4. And the reason it's called that is because we're going to have a big discussion later on about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And as you know, 42 is the answer to the universe, life, and everything. But before we do that, my name is Jarman. I'm one of your co-hosts here, and I'm here with...
I'm Steve. I'm the other guy.
Whoa! And I'm the other guy. That's so weird.
We're both the other guy.
I mean, we're the other guy in your wife's relationship.
That's what happens when there's no alpha male here.
Life is so much better without alpha males douching things up.
Yeah, here we are, two betas ready to take you on a nerdy adventure.
But two betas make an alpha, right?
If we stood on top of each other and wore a trench coat and pretended to be one person, then yes.
There we go. I'm standing on top.
Like in the Little Rascals.
Anyways. So what have you been up to, Steve? Past couple days, couple weeks.
Really, the two big events are my wife and I got a new couch.
Hey.
So exciting.
I know you needed that pretty badly.
Encourage people to take a look. There's a website called moveloot.com, and it is somewhere between Amazon and Craigslist, in that there's this company that has a huge warehouse where they buy fairly high quality furniture from people. You can sell your furniture to them, and then they relist it and keep it in their warehouse, and then they will deliver it to you.
Very cool.
So we found a leather 2-seater couch in really good condition, and we got it for $155, something like that.
That's a really good price.
Yeah, friggin' phenomenal. If you spend over a certain amount, they deliver for free. Since we weren't above that amount, it was $15 delivery.
That's not bad at all.
To not have to carry this couch up my stairs, that is a great price. And it has been just so lovely. So lovely.
It's been a while since you've had living room furniture.
That is true. And my other couch was just giving up on us. Springs falling out of the bottom and just sad microfiber. Yeah.
That's sad.
The other is that I got to go to a rare and beautiful event, a child's themed birthday party.
Wait, is someone's birthday party themed about children? Or
no, I would not go to that party because that's creepy as hell.
That would be creepy.
No, my niece Mia turned 3.
Adorable.
And had a Frozen themed party. And they had a performer show up as Elsa, the Ice Witch, and do stuff with the kids.
Ice Witch?
I don't know. What, she casts spells and has magic that she hurts people with by accident. That sounds like an Ice Witch to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
See? So she comes in. All the kids are in the backyard. She walks in. Mia freaks the hell out. Because it's like her idol there. And so I find out that it's an hour-and-a-half long package with this performer.
Was it a pretty good, appearance-wise? Like she looked kind of like the character?
I mean, you could tell she had a really dark complexion. Like her eyebrows were really dark, which was a little offsetting to the very white blonde wig she was wearing. But here was my big beef with this.
Okay.
So she says she has an hour-and-a-half of activities with the kids. So they take the kids inside. The kids are sitting around. And she starts to tell the story of the movie Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, this is going to be just a few minutes. No. It's a 25-minute play-by-play of her telling the story of the movie Frozen.
But from her own perspective, I guess.
That I had to sit there and just take it. It was terrible. And the whole time I was like, she's going to be finishing up soon. There's no way she's going to tell the whole movie. She told the whole movie. So I have not seen all of Frozen, but now I know all about it.
Oh, good. So you needed that.
Yeah. And then she did some minor magic tricks that the kids were all amazed by, and then face painting, and then I got to leave. So
she didn't sing the song?
Oh, there were songs sung.
Was she good?
Yeah, she was okay. She didn't have the high notes that are in that song, and some of the high notes in that song are pretty damn intense.
That's tough.
Yeah, so that was just great. And then we got a nice little text from my sister-in-law afterwards of, thanks everyone for coming. If you took pictures of Elsa, just do us a favor. Don't paste them on, don't put them on Facebook because of legal ramifications. So whatever company licensed out this character is not licensed to Disney, and so they could be sued if it is revealed that they have their performers being Disney characters.
That is too funny. I actually have two friends who are princess performers, or they go to parties as princesses. And I didn't even think about that, but you're right. They probably can't publicly show that they go to these characters.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, that's funny.
So it was a lot of fun. The decorations were really neat. They really did it up big, but you can only have so much fun at a child's birthday party.
Until you really want to leave.
Yes. So what have you been up to?
Well, I just went to a very unique activity. It was called RussellCon. So let me explain what this is. It's not a convention. Yeah. I just joined a gaming group, and these guys have been gaming for over 10 years together. And they do.
I know you said they were a very advanced group.
Yeah, so they've been playing Dungeons & Dragons. They played Pathfinder, all these different games. But they also just play really complex board games that you can probably see on Will Wheaton's tabletop, that kind of thing. Okay. But once a year, they rent out a really nice beach house. And instead of actually going out on the beach, they just drive out there with all their board games and stay for like 3 or 4 days and just play board games and D&D, Pathfinder, and just geek out for a whole weekend, and with lots of booze, lots of bad food. And it was just ridiculous good fun.
That sounds like a little slice of paradise.
It kind of was.
Did you get exposed to any new games?
I did. Oh, crap. I can't remember now, but there's a game where you play different superheroes. And it's kind of like as if you're playing Magic the Gathering, but you're all playing together to fight the one villain. Okay. So you write a deck of cards for each superhero and for each villain. So that was pretty fun.
Okay.
Played some Pathfinder, started a new campaign with that. And we played this awesome, you remember that game, You Don't Know Jack, from a long time ago?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's like a trivia game that had really nice graphics for the time and had really funny voiceovers telling lots of jokes. Well, they make new games now. So there's one game you can play where you have the central screen logged in as the main game, and then each person at the party can log in on their device, like their phone or their tablet, and it'll ask a question. It'll say, on your device, it'll say, name the funniest thing you could hear at a funeral. And so you type in your answer, and then the answers go on the screen later on. Everyone votes which is the funniest answer, and then that decides who wins the round. So that was pretty fun.
Okay.
But basically, I'm extremely exhausted after all that activity of all that geekery. So
of just sitting around and playing board games.
What a rough life I have.
That's true. You should take a week off just to recover.
You know, you're right. I'm just not going to do anything for next week.
Get a mani-pedi. It'll be good.
Ooh, mani-pedi.
I know.
So I guess that brings us to our weekly segment, or bi-weekly segment of Nerdy News.
Nerdy News.
It's time for Nerdy News.
What do you got for us this week, Steve?
So there's no clever title, just a direct one. People are morons. That's the title of this week's story.
Accurate.
So once again, they have done a study on macaque monkeys.
Oh, God.
To show that vaccines do not cause autism.
For once and for all, they got to prove this to people.
So Donald Trump really recently has been redredging this crap.
Ugh. Yep.
Because now they're like, oh, well, it's not the vaccines themselves that cause autism. It's the schedule and how quickly the child's immune system is bombarded by these things. And that is what causes the autism. And they did a study on macaques where they had, a placebo group, and they watched developmental stages and dissected them afterwards. And there's no differences in the brains. There's no differences in development. There were no signs of autistic behavior or negative impacts of autism on any of them. Now, mind you, idiots everywhere are going to say, well, it's on monkeys, not on humans, so it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, but we can't do these experiments on humans, you dope shits. We can't ruin children's lives on the off chance that you morons are actually right.
Because you're not.
Because you're not, and we're not going to do that. But the science and the math really comes down to, in any vaccine, there are there are antigens, and they're saying that so many antigens so fast weaken the immune system and cause it. But in all the combined vaccines that most kids get, there are 150 antigens in those vaccines, and that's all of them, for very specific strains of very specific viruses. Give me a guess of how many you think antigens children are exposed to every day just out in the world.
I'll say high and go 15,000.
Not a little bit too high. Children are exposed to between 2,000 and 6,000 antigens every day just
That's
from
funny.
living.
And that's what they were blaming it on.
For them to say that 150 that they get from these are what's exhausting the immune system is just stupid. It's just stupid. And I refuse to bend on this. Just like evolution, I refuse to bend on this. There is no chance, and you guys are idiots. Read a book. Magic isn't real.
Well, it's funny. The new Play on Nerd Studios that I'm sitting right now, I actually work across the hall from like 3 different speech therapists, and 2 of them only exclusively work with autistic children. Mm-hmm. And one of their theories is that it's not necessarily that we have more autistic people or people on the spectrum. It's just that now we have better ways of recognizing that someone is on the spectrum, So it's like they could have been around before and they were doing worse in school. They just didn't know what was wrong with them. They probably thought they had ADD or something and threw pills at them or something. But now we just have better ways of recognizing that this kid has autism. So that's what one theory is. My sister, who also teaches autistic children, she thinks there actually has been a rise, but we just don't know what exactly it's causing it yet. So either way, it's not freaking vaccines.
It's not vaccines. You guys are morons. Please stop spreading your stupidity to others.
We need happier things now.
Yes.
So I
don't have
news.
any, but yeah.
I have happy news.
Good. Happy news.
Water has officially been found on Mars. Not signs of water thousands of years ago or millions of years ago, but water right now.
Okay.
It is official finally. This is not a drill. This is not a joke. It's actually happening. I don't know why this wasn't a bigger story. I went looking for a story and I found this just sitting there. Like, what? Why is this all over the place? So I guess the weird thing is that it's water in a perchlorate brine, which is basically a chemical state of this water so that it can still flow in freezing temperatures.
Okay.
So it's like a state that water can be in. So it's still flowing water on Mars, which is crazy. And before, the scientists were all having trouble because if they want to find a place that find microbes of life on Mars, they didn't know where to look because there's a whole planet. So now they know exactly where the highest chance of probability to find them is right in these little spots of where water is flowing. But they can't touch it with the current rover, the Curiosity rover that's on there now. It's Curiosity, right? I'm not going crazy.
And yeah, sure.
Okay, because it wasn't treated properly to touch water, and if it touched the water, it could contaminate the entire water with earth enzymes and stuff like that, because it has earth stuff on it already. So in 2020, they're sending a special mission to Mars that will actually be able to get samples from this grimy brine water and take it back to Earth and test it out, which is pretty freaking awesome, because then we'd officially be able to find microbial life from another planet, which is awesome.
And then God is off the table, everyone. At that point, you're done.
No, they'll just say something like God has many flocks on many places or something. Or those microbes are from Satan.
And now we have to go convert those microbes to Christianity. And if they don't, we have to start a holy war against them.
Against
microbes in briny water on Mars.
Oh, the other cool thing is that they can use this grimy brine water, just like regular water, as far as making a refueling station in the future. If there's enough of it, they use hydrogen and oxygen to make rocket fuel.
Okay.
So in theory, like 100 years, 200,000 years down the line, we could be making a station depot on Mars that could be a refilling station. So it could be like a jump point to another planet. So that's pretty awesome.
There we go. Science.
Some good news after that very depressing news that people are that dumb.
Yep, people are just stupid. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring back a bit that a lot of people said they liked, but I sort of didn't know what to talk about next, and that is 5-Minute Aficionado, where I plan to take 5 minutes to try to make you a slightly better person, and in a situation you don't know how to behave yourself, try to make it look like you at least kind of know what you're doing.
And what were the ones you did before, Steve?
I did before, it was cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other one? Was it beer?
I think it was wine.
It was wine. Yeah. Picking out wine and trying to make yourself not look like a jackass in a nice restaurant.
I think I'll try to put it in the show notes so you guys can find those other 2 episodes because they're pretty cool. People liked them a lot.
So for my 5-minute aficionado this time, I'm going to talk about something that was very foreign to me once, but now it's something I get to enjoy fairly regularly. And that's going to get a massage.
Mm-hmm.
Which for a lot of people who have never done it is sort of a foreign idea and you don't quite know what to expect. I know that I didn't the first time that I went to go get a massage.
And some people are scared about the idea in general.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's so foreign to be like, I'm going to pay someone to touch my body. Like that's in most shame-based religions, that's not a good thing. So I'm going to give you 5 points to help you have a good massage. And the first point is schedule ahead of time. Just like anything where you want someone who is professionally trained to do something, let them know you're coming. You can't walk into a place where you expect someone who knows how to do something, and if they can't do it at that moment, be upset because you're an idiot and you didn't call ahead. This is also going to allow you to possibly make requests as far as the type of massage therapist you want to see. If once you go back to the same place over and over again, you can ask for specific people or find out when they're working. Once you have your favorites. The second point is take a friggin' shower. These people are touching your body, like from head to toe in some cases. Why make that more miserable for them than it has to be?
That already is.
Than it already is. I know it sounds great, like, oh, I'm going to get off work at the quarry and go down and get a massage. Nobody wants to touch you.
God. At the quarry.
Now, that's the one thing I can think of. Now, mind you, some high-end spa kind of places will have showers and have steam rooms and that sort of thing. But if you're like me and you like cheap massages where you don't have to pay an arm and a leg, those places don't have those things. So do yourself a favor, do your masseuse a favor, and bathe, please. So you go in, you pay your money, they take you into a room, they say, go ahead and get undressed, and they close the door. So your next question becomes, how naked do I get? And my answer is whatever you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So you're at a massage place. They expect that you are going to get naked. That is their expectation. You're there for a massage. You're going to get naked. But my advice to you is, if being naked is going to make you so uncomfortable that you're not going to enjoy the massage, then you have canceled out the point of getting a massage.
Absolutely.
Which is to relax and enjoy yourself. So like when I go, I leave my underwear on. I don't need them touching my butt.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. But if I was naked, I know that they would be okay with it because you're always covered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're laying face down, they cover your ass. When you turn over, they lift the sheet so that they completely cover you the whole time. So don't worry too much about it. But if it's going to ruin your massage, leave your underwear on.
But they aren't trying to look at your junk.
Nobody is trying to look at your junk. I know that that's like in the human psyche, like everyone's trying to get at my junk. No one is trying to get at your junk. Also, some places will have signs posted about etiquette and what. And now, mind you, if you read a sign, they say, please leave your underwear on. Leave your underwear on. Don't get naked. But in most places, the assumption is if you're there for a massage, that you can get naked. My next point is a little bit of moaning goes a long way. Now, I'm not talking about like women's tennis sexual grunting. I'm talking about if they hit a spot that's really doing it for you, you can go, It lets them know that you're enjoying it. And it will encourage them to try to elicit a little bit more. Now, I'm not talking, once again, a little bit of moaning goes a real long way. God, yeah, deep. Not good. Not good at all.
This is by far the goofiest 5-minute aficionado we've done yet.
I know.
I love it.
So once again, there's a difference in this respect between a spa and like a cheap massage place you go to. At a spa, where they are obviously trained, certified people, you can tell them what you want. If you are going to a cheap place, that's really not on the menu because most of the time it's Asian women who don't speak English. So me saying I want them to work on my delts, not going to work.
Is that the places you've been going to?
Oh, yeah. Cheap places? Oh, yeah.
Do they ask you about special things when it's done?
No.
Good.
That's not what this 5 Minute Aficionado is about. That'll be a different
good.
5 Minute Aficionado. No, if you want advice on that, go elsewhere. I have never done or participated or even attempted.
You're a happily married man.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That just seems creepy. So a little bit of moaning goes a long way. And then at the end, they finish up, you put your clothes back on, and the question is, do you tip? And the answer is, yes, you tip.
What kind of percentage we talking here?
So I go and I get a $40 hour-long massage. I will tip my massage therapist $10 because I know that they're paying for the right to the room. Just like a barber or a stripper, they're paying for the pole.
I'm so happy. They'd be really happy equating them to a stripper.
I know. Or a barber.
Or a barber.
So a huge percent of what you paid is going to the house, not to them. So yeah, tip them. Something that the German's father always instilled in me was take care of the people that take care of you. If you like this massage therapist and you want them to be happy the next time you walk back in, tip them a little better.
There you go.
2 times ago when I went, this woman who I'd never had before did this thing where she like climbed on my back like a fucking spider monkey and used her knees to just destroy me in such an excellent way. And I tipped her $20 because I want her again next time I go because it was so friggin' amazing.
She really got on top of your back completely.
It was insane. I did not know what she was doing until it was happening. And then it was so agonizing and amazing. I couldn't stop it. To take care of the people that take care of you, you want them to be happy when you walk in. Just like a restaurant, bar, wherever you go, you want them to be happy to see you.
That's part of the general rule of thumb. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah, that's my 5 Minute Aficionado. Go enjoy a massage. Don't think that because it's cheap, it's not good. As I said, I've got a place near here that does $40 for an hour-long body massage, and it is spectacular. And because it's cheap, it's something I get to go enjoy once every 2 weeks.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
You're living the dream, my friend.
I am.
Well, that was fantastic.
There you go. Go enjoy your massage.
So now we're about to jump into our interview we had last week with the wonderful Paul Wright, a fine British gentleman from living in Liverpool, I believe. He knows so much about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We learned a lot from him. So we hope that you'll enjoy this. He goes from the very beginning of how it first began, how it was first written as a radio play, all the way up until the movie that he's not a huge fan of.
And didn't see.
And didn't see. So please enjoy our interview with the wonderful Paul Wright.
This is the story of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, perhaps the most remarkable, certainly the most successful book ever to come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor. More popular than the Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Ulan Kalufid's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, Some More of God's Greatest Mistakes, and Who Is This God Person Anyway? And in many of the more relaxed civilizations on the outer eastern rim of the galaxy, the Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopaedia Galactica as the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom, because although it has many omissions, contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, it scores over the older, more pedestrian work in 2 important ways. First, it is slightly cheaper, and second, it has the words "Don't Panic" inscribed in large, friendly letters on the cover.
All right, so we are here now with our good friend Paul Wright, or Commander Furbob, who is a part of the 10 Forward podcast, amongst other podcasts as well. Hello, Paul. Thanks for coming.
Oh, well, thanks for inviting me. I know you guys don't have too many guests on, so it's an absolute honor and a privilege to be on the show.
And we're happy to have a guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit about the podcast that you do and basically how you got started in this crazy podcasting world?
Oh, well, I got started by listening. Well, I used to listen to quite a few different podcasts, and I thought, well, as I'm into Star Trek, I thought I'd start listening to a Star Trek podcast. So I searched around and found one based in the UK called Trackmate, and went onto their website, and they have quite a few different variations, all based on Star Trek. And I started listening to that, and then I started to give them a bit of feedback and created a couple of little voice files for them. And then next thing you know, one thing leads to another, and I got invited on as a guest, and then eventually made it on as a co-host on the 10 Forward podcast, which is we basically just talk about anything to do with Star Trek.
I had the same origin story almost. It's funny.
Yes.
I started listening to Star Trek podcasts, sent in a recording to 10 Forward, and then I guested, then I guest hosted, and I started my own podcast. And you have your own podcast now too with Mr. Sean Vanderloo, don't you?
That's correct, yes. Listeners to your show might recognize the name of Sean Vanderloo, the Rusted Robot podcast host with his wife... Bridget, thank you. I should know that. And yes, we basically got talking to each other one day, and I was thinking about creating a podcast on my own, and he put out a tweet saying he would like to be a co-host on his own podcast rather than just the Rusted Robot. And so we got together and we've created the Sci-Fi Waffle podcast, which we basically waffle on about anything to do with science fiction.
And as I called it before, the two most pleasant guys in podcasting doing their own podcast together.
I think that was basically the name that you suggested.
Yeah, that's right.
Vanderloo's on.
That's right. Yes, it's the nicest people in podcasting. Oh, how nice! Yes, very nice.
Yeah, because on the 10 Forward podcast, they make fun of Paul and I because we always have we like most of Star Trek, and we're called Team Boring because we enjoy everything. Everything's nice. We like Next Generation better, and that's like the more boring Star Trek according to them, because Deep Space Nine's the more adventurous, cool one. But
exactly, we don't like conflict in between people on the same side. We want the conflict to be against the enemies and the bad guys.
It sounds like dwarfs arguing about who's taller.
Pretty much. Whose beard is bigger? I don't know.
So, Paul, we were going to have you on in the 42nd episode, but unfortunately timing didn't work out. And the reason is because, from what I understand, you are an expert in the world of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Is that correct?
This is correct, yes.
I'm going to ask you to give us a few credentials. What makes you an expert on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Well, that's a fair question. Back in 1978, when Mr. Adams wrote his very first iteration of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it started off as a radio show. It came onto the BBC, I think it was on Radio 4. I was actually living out of the country at the time, and we got it on the BBC World Service. And it was a half-an-hour comedy show, as anybody who have read the books will know. Lots and lots of humour, really, really funny, lots of sound effects, all on the radio. So, of course, it was up to your own imagination to listen to it and fill in the gaps. That was in 1978. In 1979, he produced the second series, which also came out onto the radio. And I absolutely fell in love with both of those series. It was a phenomenal piece of work. By the time we get into the early 80s, he then decided to write a book because he wasn't quite happy with the order of things. So he rewrote The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and put it into a book. Then they created a record, one of those big round black vinyl things with a hole in the middle, yes. Of a slightly different version of the radio series. Then they brought out the television series over here, which was basically just the first six episodes of the radio series. And then it disappeared into oblivion for a long time, by which time he then wrote the remaining books up until about 93 before he passed away. He did have an idea of making a film. It was being sort of half created when he passed away. They then completed that project, and that's the film that probably most people are more familiar with now, which came out a few years back, which is an appalling, abysmal disaster of a film.
Oh, really?
Which really, again, covers the first 6 episodes. And to this day, I have not seen it, and I will not see it because it is awful.
Well, how do you know it's an appalling disaster then if you haven't seen it?
Because I saw the clips and I saw who was cast in it, and I thought, no way. No. So, so basically that's it. I've been a big fan of it. I've got in front of me, the DVDs of the radio series. There are, how many have I got here now? There's a good 6 box sets of the series. I have a book which is the scripts of the radio series, of the first 2 radio series, with notes written by Douglas Adams.
Oh, goodness.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm a bit of a fan.
You've been a fan since it began, and you were around for that.
That's right.
That's crazy. So first off, tell us a little bit about the general storyline of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, if you don't mind.
Okay, so we start off with a mild-mannered man called Arthur Dent, who's rudely awoken one morning to find out that his house is about to be flattened by the local council, who are going to build a bypass right through the middle of his village. And he obviously is not happy about this. He confronts the construction workers, and they tell him, of course, he should have put his complaints into writing many months ago, and it's all going to happen. There's nothing much he can do about it. At which point, his best friend, who he's known for many, many years, turns up out of the blue and says, come with me, the world's about to end. And he said, what do you mean? He says, well, we have an alien fleet right above us who are going to knock out your planet and build a bypass through the middle of it. And thus the story starts with the destruction of Earth. Now, fortunately, Arthur Dent and his friend managed to get away. So, yeah, and that's it. And they basically travel the galaxy, meeting up with various people and various friends and having various adventures.
Over 5 books.
That's right. But it is a remarkable story to start with the destruction of Earth and then go from there.
That's true. That's a unique idea to Douglas Adams. So I guess I would ask, what do you think? Why did he write it? What's the theme behind it? And is it basically like, what kind of commentary is it giving, I guess, for those people who have not read it or seen it?
I don't think you can't really read too much into it, I don't think. I think basically he was university educated. He was in Cambridge University, and he joined the Footlights, which is their review-based comedy section.
Oh, yeah. Some of the Monty Python guys were in that too, right?
Exactly. Around about the same time as those guys, actually. But he never quite made it big in that point. He has actually appeared, ironically enough, in episode 42 of the Monty Python TV series. And he played a very small part in it. Just a doctor, I think he was, or, sort of appeared on the screen, said a few words and disappeared. So yeah, he never really made it big in that respect, but his forte was the writing side of it. And I don't know, he got the idea basically from a book. He'd been traveling around Europe, just sort of as you do when you're in university. You leave university and think, what am I going to do? Have nothing to do. Let's travel around Europe. And he bought a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to Europe. And he basically, whilst he was going around Europe and having these thoughts and things, and lying down in the field one day, looking into the skies and looking at the stars, and thought, why hasn't anybody written like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, about roaming the stars? And that's basically how the idea came to him. And it was just his natural wit, I think, and his sort of sardonic look at the world of the world in general, that brought out this story.
I think it's kind of similar to Monty Python because he really pokes a lot of fun at bureaucracy and politicians and just the system of things and how they work and how ridiculous they are when you think about it, which is really funny. Steve, I can't remember, Steve, have you read it or seen the movie?
I've read the first book.
Okay, yeah, I read the first 3 or 4, but then I never finished the very last book. But
slacker.
I liked the movie. It was very different from the book. Very different from the book. It didn't even follow a lot of the same story. But
so I know you said the movie is an abysmal disaster, but you haven't necessarily seen it. And the one thing that you just cited was casting. What do you think they got wrong with the casting?
Yeah, who would you have casted?
Okay, everything was wrong with it. For a start,
okay, fair enough.
When they made the television series, they used a lot of the original cast from the radio series. So therefore, the voices were the same, and it was easy, with the exception of a couple of people who did make a big difference. But of course, I like continuity in things. Now, okay, I can understand that some people who are on the radio don't transition well to acting on the television, sure. And I don't mind that they changed the cast. It would be very hard to make the film now, of course, and still use the same cast because they're all a lot older. However, that original radio cast is doing a stage show at the moment based on the Hitchhiker's Guide. So they are still about. Now, when I looked at the new film, all the characters have been altered or changed in some way or another. Marvin the Paranoid Android doesn't even look like the television series version of it, doesn't have the same voice, although they try very hard, and yet the actor who did the voice is still around, and they could quite easily have used him. The guy who played Zaphod Beeblebrox looks nothing like the original guy who played him on the television series.
Sam Rockwell, I think, was the guy in the movie. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So thank you for putting an American into a British television sitcom so that we can, sell it to the Americans.
Yep.
In these days, I think we can get away with having an English guy there. And Zaphod Beeblebrox has got two heads, for goodness sake. I mean,
that's true. They did miss that in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, the basic principle of Zaphod Beeblebrox is he has two heads. And he argues with himself, and he's got 3 arms. Didn't see any of that in the film. That's totally missing. You can't just change a character so much like that and expect to get away with it. Martin Freeman playing,
forgetting the lead character's name.
Lead character's
I'm forgetting
name.
it now too. Arthur, thank you. Arthur Dent.
Arthur, thank you, because I've got Simon Jones running through my head and I can't get that out. That's the original guy who did it. He's, you're going to use a modern day actor. Martin Freeman's as good as anybody to put into that.
So he wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad, yeah. I think we can get away with that, although, I'm not a big Martin Freeman fan as such, but yeah, he did a decent job of that.
Oh, the Americans love him.
Oh, of course, yes, that's right. Fantastic. Sell loads of stuff abroad. That's brilliant. The girl who played Tricia McMillan, or Trillian, I don't even know what iteration she was called at the time.
Wasn't it Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah.
She's quirky.
That's the problem. She wasn't quirky in the radio series. She was in the TV series. They brought in Sandra Dickinson. I don't know. She's an American actress from many years ago, but she did more stuff over here, I think.
Sounds familiar.
She was married to a Doctor Who.
Oh, which one?
Peter Davidson.
Oh, okay.
So, yes. The casting wasn't quite there, and the story was, every time you see a Hitchhiker's Guide story, it changes. But I just didn't feel as though it was true to the original, even though it was started off by Douglas Adams. I think too much was changed.
Well, you'll have to watch it someday just so you can hate watch it.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, have a few beers, cuddle up.
It's going to be a drunk watch.
Yeah, drunk watch.
Exactly. Yep.
So what else has Douglas Adams contributed to that's been in pop culture? I know he's done a lot.
He did do some writing for Doctor Who. He did create a couple of episodes, I believe. More than that, I couldn't honestly say. I know he was in the, he was in 1 or 2 episodes of the Monty Python sketch show.
Right.
But more than that, I don't know, to be honest.
So what would you think? What would be your favorite character then from Hitchhiker's Guide, would you say?
My favorite character is Marvin, the Paranoid Android.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think he's brilliant. Certainly from the radio series, and they took a lot of it into the TV series as well. The quotes that he has, the voice is very depressive, and it's pardon me for breathing, which I never do anyway, so I don't know why I bothered to say it. Oh God, I'm so depressed. It's absolutely brilliant, brilliantly played. By a guy whose name I have forgotten as well, because he's one of the Britain's leading actors, Stephen Moore.
Oh, okay.
He's more stage actor than TV actor, although he has done a lot on TV, but he's more stage show.
I mean, you probably would have loved Alan Rickman's portrayal of it. I know it's not the original guy, but it was hilarious.
It's close. Yes, his voice is very similar to Stephen Moore. So yes, it's not too bad, but he is possibly too good. I think Rickman is a very, very good actor. His voice is very distinctive, very well known, but he is very highly trained, and I think possibly a little too good. He needs to be more depressed. It was a bit flat, but yes, his voice is very close to Stephen Moore's.
Steven, do you have any other questions?
No, I was just looking up other things Douglas Adams did. He apparently did a show called Dirk Gently. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yes, I have heard of that, but I'm not. Yes, I've not seen it.
He did that. I don't know. And then it looks like maybe a comedy show called Not the 9 O'Clock News, but those seem to be the only other major things on his on his resume.
It's not that much.
Right. Yes, again, Not the 9 O'Clock News was quite big in the early 80s. It brought forth people like...
I see Rowan Atkinson in here.
Exactly, Rowan Atkinson, yeah. That's the main guy that you would know.
Yeah.
He's been in everything.
Since then, yes.
All right, so they're casting the remake of Hitchhiker's Guide tomorrow, and you're the casting director. Who do you cast that was not in the original cast, but you had to pick from, because they want to sell it to the main audiences, so they want celebrities to do it.
Us stupid Americans have to pay $30 a ticket to go see it.
So who would you pick?
Wow. That is a big question. It's hard to go not from the original cast. Certainly the voice of the book was done by Stephen Fry some of the later series, and he would be my pick for the book.
Love Stephen Fry.
Okay, so you agree with that casting? Cool.
Yes, that was fine. Who would we put? I need a mild-mannered character that we could put as Arthur Dent. Somebody.
That's not Martin Freeman.
No. In fact, you could use Rowan Atkinson, I suppose.
Even at his current age?
Even as, because he's probably not too far away from what's the sort of age that they were looking at originally.
Okay.
He's
probably in his late 60s now, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how old is he. He must be near 60, yes.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
Maybe. No, that's right. But, I mean, I suppose. Ford Prefect is an interesting one. I don't know who I'd get to do Ford Prefect. I don't know enough actors to sort of really... who I can think who's on the market at the moment of that sort of age.
Yeah, I would definitely not have cast Mos Def as Ford Prefect. That was a weird
that
choice.
Was, the one they used for the movie. Let's go through our list of Star Trek actors. Cast the entire thing with Star Trek actors.
Well, that would be a
just like many space dramas. There's one black guy in the whole galaxy.
Yes.
Good thing it's not a horror movie because he would die first.
Yeah, dead right away. Doesn't matter.
That's right. And one woman as well. We need a woman.
That's true.
Yeah, true.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah, because there really wasn't a woman character in the books, and they kind of just inserted that. Well, as far as making it a love interest, anyway.
Yes, that's right.
But her character did exist in the book. I can't
it would
remember.
have been. It was Tricia McMillan who
right,
Trillian, as she was called.
That's right, Trillian. Okay, so she was there in the book.
Yeah,
but just less of the romantic aspect of it. That's
right. It gets a bit complicated in the radio series. She actually then comes. She get either I can't remember whether she was cloned. I think she was cloned, and she pops up twice. It's very cleverly done. They use the original woman and another character who played her and split her into two. One of them has a baby with Arthur, who's called Random Chance.
Well, we found out that the series is too dear to Paul's heart, where he can't even cast it. All he can do is cast the voice of the book.
Yeah. It is hard to say. There's not enough sort of modern day British actors. I suppose you could use Daniel Radcliffe as Arthur Dent. How about that?
That's true. That wouldn't be bad.
He's probably about the right age, and he's got the sort of Britishness about him that Arthur Dent originally portrayed. Yeah. He likes cricket, and
there is a certain quota of Britishness.
Reach that bar.
Loves his cricket, cups of tea and things like that.
What other British stereotypes can we pull out of our butts? Yeah. Well, cool. Well, if you can, real quick, also, this is episode 46 minus 4 to bring us to 42. And what is the significance of the number 42?
I don't know where Douglas Adams got it from. I don't know why 42 in particular. That's never really been disclosed. But of course, it is the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything.
It's like a giant computer has to think of it for years, and it finally pops out that answer. Isn't that what it was?
That's right. They basically start off by saying we want to know the question. The ultimate. We've got the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. We need to know what the ultimate answer is. So the computer goes away for thousands of years trying to work out this problem, the answer to the problem, and comes back and says the answer is 42. And they said, what do you mean 42? And he says, well, you never really said what the question is. And they said, well, it's life, the universe, just everything. And they said, well, that's the problem. The ultimate answer is 42. You just haven't given me the ultimate question. So they said, we've got to go and think of what the ultimate question is now.
It's such a genius just concept and comedic thing to do.
That's right. You've got the answer to 42, but what's the real question?
Well, speaking of significant numbers, our next episode will be episode 47. And I just remembered, Steve, that's the important number in Star Trek.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to put together an entire montage of where all the numbers 47 appear throughout Star Trek. There's got to be a website out there somewhere that chronicles all of it already for me.
And if not, you're the man to invent it.
Absolutely. Well, cool. I think that's pretty much covers our discussion of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anything else you would want to say about it before we go? And anything you would want to say to people out there who have not heard it or read it before or seen it?
If you like reading books, read the books. If you like listening to audiobooks or radio shows, listen to the radio shows. Don't do both. Because Douglas Adams rewrote the total timeline every time he rewrote the story. So everything goes out of order, and I mean large chunks of it come out of order and go into different places. So either stick with listening to the audio guides or read the books. Don't do both.
Or be like Paul, be an ultimate fan and do all of it.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Any upcoming podcasts? Any upcoming episodes?
We have on the Sci-Fi Waffle podcast. I don't know when you guys are going to publish this particular one, but we probably in the last couple of weeks we will have had a couple of guests on our shows. So we would have had James Roberts, who is part of the Battle Bridge podcast on the TrekMate website. He joined us for a 2-hour chat.
It was a good episode.
Which was, it was really good. We had a great conversation about sci-fi in general. And our next episode, we will be having Mark Stamper, who is the big cheese, the head honcho, numero uno of the TrekMate website.
Very cool. And are you doing anything with 10 Forward anytime soon?
I'm not too sure. The next time I'm on, I think is going to be early October when we do the book club.
Oh, okay. And I think I'm on the episode where we make Sina watch all the original series episodes. She hates the original series, Steve, and we're making her watch all of it.
Good.
Of Star Trek.
Star Trek should be used as a punishment. You're right.
I think I'm due to be on that one as well, but I'm not too sure when that's going to record yet.
Yeah, it's still far off in the horizon, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, cool. Thanks so much for coming on, Paul, and
so
schooling us in the ways of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We appreciate it.
Oh, well, thanks very much for having me on. I'm a big fan of your podcast. It's one of the first ones I listen to as soon as it comes out. So yeah, really enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
You're doing good work.
And we still have to do our collaboration episode. What were we going to call it again?
A play on waffles.
That's right. A play on waffles.
That sounds good to me.
At some point, we will do that.
Certainly will.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
So long and thanks for all the fish. So sad that it should come to this. We try to warn you all, but oh dear. You may not share our intellect, which might explain your disrespect for all the natural wonders that grow around you. So long and thanks for all the fish.
So that's our fantastic interview with Paul Wright. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know we did.
Thank you again, Paul.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to jump into some trailer reviews.
Trailer reviews. Here at Play on Nerds, we have developed an interesting rating system to bring to you our ideas on the trailers we're about to review. At the low end of the scale, we have Burn It, where we think you should find every copy you can get your hands on and throw it into a barrel fire.
Kill it with fire. And our next step is Drunk Watch, which means that, yeah, I'd watch this movie. It'd be entertaining if I was under the influence of some kind of substance of some kind. But if I was sober, probably not going to check this thing out.
Nope, not going to see it. Next, we've got We'll See, which is maybe we just don't know enough about this movie to tell what the hell it's going to be.
Could be good, could be bad, not sure. And our next category would be Get the Couch Ready, which means I'm definitely going to check this movie out at home. Wouldn't necessarily pay the big bucks to see it in theaters, but I'm definitely going to watch it at home, so get that couch ready.
After that, we have Take a Look, where we are recommending for you, our viewers and listeners, to check out this movie and check out the trailer and tell us what you think about it. We wanted to see what you guys think.
It looks pretty good, but we're not quite sure yet.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah.
Let us know.
And for our final and best category, we have Shut Up and Take My Money.
Shut up and take my money.
This looks so awesome, we're going to see it.
That's where we cannot wait to give Hollywood bigwigs all of the money that we have earned at work to go see a film for $47. We're so excited, we just have to go see it. We don't have a choice.
And that is our A Play on Nerds official copyrighted trademark system for rating our movie trailers.
All right, this week on Trailer Reviews, we've got some very interesting and very diverse selections for you. First one I want to talk about is a movie that is near and dear to my childhood, and that is the Goosebumps movie that's coming out with Jack Black. The new Goosebumps trailer just came out a little bit ago and shows a lot more about what we can expect.
Hello, my name is Mr. R.L. Stein. Every story ever told can be broken down into 3 parts. The beginning.
Hi. Hey, we're just moving in. Good talk.
The middle. And the twist.
These are all Goosebumps manuscripts. Why are these books locked? Did you unlock a book?
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I'll put it back where it belongs. Look, here it is.
No, don't open it!
All the monsters I've ever created are locked inside these books. But when they open...
Nobody make a sound. You abominable snowman just crawled out of a book. That doesn't just happen.
Run! Go! I'm stuck. Go on without me. Save yourself.
Okay, good luck.
No, I didn't mean it.
The only way to stop them is to suck them back into the books.
You've read them all, right?
Yeah.
If we know their weaknesses, we can capture them all. What are you doing?
It's a werewolf of fever swamp. He can smell my scent. No, it's not working. I have to hide.
What was that?
It's the invisible boy. He's such a crack up.
What are we gonna do? I'm okay. I'm still okay.
Gnomes? Maybe they're friendly. Not friendly. Definitely not friendly.
Essentially, a boy moves into a house next to a creepy guy. They break into his house for some reason, who knows, and find Goosebumps manuscripts that are locked. When they open them, the creatures that inhabited my childhood nightmares crawl out of them and ravage a small town.
Well, the creepy guy is R.L. Stein, the writer of Goosebumps.
Right. Being played by Jack Black.
Yes. And
it kind of looks like Jumanji with Goosebumps, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's the problem I had with the trailer is that the CGI looked like it could have been from Jumanji from 10, 15 years ago. Like, it was pretty bad CGI. Maybe they're still working on it. I don't know.
It's true. A lot of times it's not final.
It was not better than like weekly TV shows I watched, so that was kind of sad.
But I read a ton of Goosebumps as a kid. In fact, that's the first book series that my parents could get me consistently reading.
Oh yeah, I like them too.
I remember when I was 7 or maybe 8, my parents were really worried because I wouldn't read anything outside of what I had to read for school. And they were really pushing to find something. And Goosebumps, I ate through those books.
Yeah, I remember the creepy ventriloquist one especially.
Oh, yeah. So I get to see all of my favorite characters and memories from those books. They use their knowledge of the books to then defeat the creatures, which I think is a real kind of neat, nice touch for someone who grew up with them. I'm pretty excited. As far as a kid's film goes, I'm pretty excited for this movie.
Yeah, definitely geared towards kids, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Not the people who probably grew up with Goosebumps, but
their children.
That's true.
That's what they're hitting.
And I wrote that saying, yeah, if I had kids, I'd definitely take them to see this because it'd be kind of fun for me, but I know they'd really like it too.
Yeah.
And I like Jack Black, but I don't know. I put a we'll see, though, or a drunk watch.
I'm going to give it a Get the Couch Ready just because I know that once it's on Netflix or I can rent it for $3 on iTunes, I'll do that.
There you go. Not so bad.
Yeah, I'm excited for Goosebumps.
Now, the next movie we have is The Fifth Wave.
All right, be good. If you can't be good.
Don't get caught.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too, Mom.
Okay, who can give me the derivative of X?
What's going on?
Did you guys see that? Oh my god. What's happening?
At 1:07 a.m., the Odyssey satellite received images of an object moving past Mars.
It's right over us.
I want to see.
I didn't know it then, but that was the last normal day of my life.
We have reason to believe there's an imminent threat to this location.
All right, stay with your sister.
The waves have begun.
It started.
Coordinated attacks on metropolitan areas.
The first wave knocked out all the power. Then the second wave hit. An earthquake strong enough to shake the entire planet.
Cassie! I got you.
With the third wave, disease spread across the world. By the fourth wave, they were among us.
The others have the ability to inhabit human hosts. They could be anywhere.
We can't trust anyone anymore.
Cassie!
The others took my brother, and I'm gonna go get him.
You will learn to think, move, and fight like soldiers.
I want to be ready.
You won't get very far on your own. Grab the gun and snap my hand away. Good.
How are we supposed to fight them if we don't even know what they are?
What are you? They took everything from me.
My sister's coming.
Sam! This is our world. This is our home.
Move!
Our only choice is to take it back.
Drop it!
I know you're human.
How?
Because if you were one of them, you would have shot me already.
This seems to be a movie about an alien invasion that comes in 5 waves. And it stars Chloe Moretz. Moretz? Is that
Chloe
correct?
Grace Moretz.
Moretz. It looks to me like kind of like it's based off a YA novel. It says it's based off a novel. It looks like a young adult novel style thing because there's like the cheesy romance in part of it.
And she might be in love with an alien.
Oh, yeah.
And I just...
Maybe he's a werewolf too. I don't know.
God, I hope he's a werewolf. Oh, that would make me so happy.
But I mean, it has Liev Schreiber in it, who I like him. He plays for the military guys. I don't know why he's talking to teenagers about their military plans for the United States, but who knows?
Well, I think the idea is that the plague that they talk about has wiped out most of the adults, so now they have to train these like young adult and teenagers to be their new soldiers.
That's true.
That seems to be what they're hinting at.
Because there is a training sequence in the trailer.
There is. They're jumping over logs and shit.
And they're all in the same uniform of some sort. But the special effects look decent. They say it could be fun.
God.
But cheesy.
I am just hating this new idea, and this is happening everywhere, and I think Twilight didn't start it, but really made it a huge thing.
Yeah.
Is taking a genre that we all love and a lot of people are interested in and turning it into a teen romance.
That's true. They're all doing that now.
Like, I really was very interested in this trailer until they reviewed the romantic part with the alien. And I was like, come on.
The second half of the trailer has her like flirting with some guy with stubble. And he's like, he barely has pubic hair, but he has stubble. He's like,
yeah. I was on board until I saw that.
Yep. It was about halfway through. Mm-hmm.
because I love alien invasion films. There's some plague stuff involved, which also brings in the contagion stuff, which I love. God, I just hate it.
Chloe Grace Moretz, I've liked her in other things in the past, so that would be cool.
And she's 18 now, so I can say she is friggin' hot.
That's disturbing, but hey.
She is 18. We're legit.
We're only 11 years older than her, so.
That's right.
No
Damn
big deal.
right.
That's not that much.
No. Not in Hollywood. That's nothing.
You know who's also 18, which is kind of disturbing?
Who?
The little girl from Game of Thrones.
Which one? Arya?
Arya Stark.
Yeah, she's okay.
But she looks like she's 12, so that's disturbing.
Yes. I don't know. I really wanted to like this film, but the whole young adult romance thing is just killing me. Killing me.
I mean, I might watch it to make fun of it, but because it would also have some fun parts probably and some cool parts, but then the rest would also be making fun of it. So that may be worth of a drunk watch, but I gave it a take a look because I want to see a little bit more, see if it's how much of the movie is going to be the cheesy romance crap.
Yeah. But I just feel like Hollywood is taking these genres I love and destroying them.
Yeah.
Like Twilight, vampires, love them. She falls in love with a vampire and turns into angst. Shit. Insurgent, dystopian class-filled future. Oh, she falls in love with someone who's not in her same class, or angst. Okay.
Or The Giver. Oh, I like that book. Oh, wait. Now it turned to cheesy romance thing from, horrible.
God, shit. The angst never ends, and it kills me.
I'm 15. I'm so sad.
I mean, I'm going to give this one a drunk watch. When it comes out, I'll have a few beers and watch it at home, but I'm not going to go spend money to hate a whole film.
So that was something else I think we're going to review in a way in response to some posts we got on Facebook about the new Muppet premiere of the new Muppet show.
Excuse me, everybody, could I have your attention? I have some really great news. ABC wants to put on an all-new primetime series starring the Muppets.
God bless America and its magnificent broadcasting company.
The show's going to be all about our personal lives. I hate the 405. Behind the scenes.
How'd the surgery go?
Oh, fine. But I kept biting the stitches off, so I threw this thing on.
Our relationships.
I don't see how it's ever going to work out with you and a...
You can say it, Dad. He's a bear.
Sort of an adult Muppet show.
If you have children, how will you raise them? Where will they go to the bathroom? In the woods?
Okay, that is an offensive stereotype.
How about we film the series in that crazy handheld documentary style and have cutaways to one-on-one interviews?
Cut to interviews? That is just a totally overused device to make easy jokes. You know, talking to the camera about how you really feel and then cutting back and saying something completely different. I just hate that. I love it. Great device.
What has 2 ears, a snout, and isn't doing the show? Kermit! What a pleasant surprise to see you and whoever you are.
Are you kidding? We made like 6 movies together, 3 TV shows. We did love letters for a month at the Fisher Theater in Detroit.
I want to say, Gary?
Sure, let's go with Gary.
I really hope you're not turning it down because of us.
This has nothing to do with Boo and what? I hear you moved on.
What can I say, Gonzo? I'm attracted to pigs.
Kermit.
The band. They're always happy. Legally now.
Piggy.
The pig is back and ready to put on a...
Fozzie.
Trust me.
And...
Some incredibly obscure Muppets that no one remembers.
And you are,
I think I was in a holiday special or something.
They're all back.
This just in.
Rootin'. Like you've never seen them before.
And I'm not the know that you have taste, Bob.
Thanks, that's very generous. Why'd you change your mind?
This is my family. You know, Gary, the tooth guy.
Oh, right.
That blue one over there. No, I didn't quit the movie to be with Kermit. Where did you get that from? I mean, why would you even think that?
So gimmicky.
You made my life a bacon-wrapped hell on earth.
Which way do I turn the knob if I think this Muppet show is terrible?
To the left.
Won't go any further.
Sure it will. I turned mine so far I broke it.
Can you tell us about what this is and how this came about? Steve, do you know anything about how this came to this network like this on prime time?
Well, ABC, Disney owns Muppets. That's how it happened. That's
okay, yeah.
Muppets make money. ABC likes money. So that's how this brainchild occurred.
That makes so much sense now.
A lot of people are giving. So let's start with this. I really, truly enjoyed the new show.
Nice.
Obviously, I only saw the first episode. I really, truly enjoyed it. The essence of the characters, the innocence of the characters, and the Muppets' way of taking on social issues without being direct about it is spot on. Spot on. The fact that Fozzie Bear is dating a woman is allegorical to her father not wanting her to date a black man is brilliant. Just brilliant. The thing that people are giving a lot of flack for is that Kermit is no longer with Miss Piggy, and he has started dating this younger, thinner pig. And the people are on about that. No, it's so typical and Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. But there's just 2 points to that. He did not break up with Piggy to be with this younger pig. He broke up with Piggy because he was sick of her shit. And 2, because never in Hollywood does a producer of a very successful show end up dating a younger woman. That's never happened.
Never
so
happens.
I don't know what the hell Kermit's thinking. But really, I like that the message in the end was that this new pig he's dating gets him everything he wants, but doesn't give him what he needs. And that's really the point of this first episode, is that Piggy gives him what he needs. Overall, I thought the comedy was on point. All the characters are in place. Sam the Eagle is like the censorship guy, saying that they can't say just some twiddle and a bunch of really great just other words. Gonzo still being Gonzo and having these terrible ideas for the show. It's all still there. It's just a lot of people expected it to be the variety show that we grew up with, and that's not what this is. It's for a new audience, and I think that they've hit that.
Yeah, they definitely took some chances and branched out a little bit. So we also asked our Play on Nerds audience out there what they thought of the show. And our longtime listener, Michael McGovern, said, I had heard a lot of negativity about it before watching, but ended up really enjoying it. I thought the beginning was a little awkward, but I think that had to do with getting used to the setting the Muppets are in for this new format. There were several laugh out loud moments for me, especially dancing with the czars and golf cart fight.
Oh, the golf cart fight with Scooter and was Elizabeth Banks was hilarious.
I love Elizabeth Banks.
So
and also, the new setting is kind of like The Office, I heard, right? Kind of like that kind of film style.
Yeah, as far as like the interviews, but they don't take it too seriously, which I also appreciated.
That's good.
So then we had another comment right after Michael from a Julie Ramke, which is someone that you and I don't know.
Which is great.
She wrote one of the longest comments in the history of Play on Nerds.
We're so proud of that. Thank you, Julie.
Today I watched the first episode of the new Muppet Show. I was somewhat guarded given all the bad reviews of it I'd read. So, having watched all the video teasers in the past month, I ask, if you reviewed those teasers, who here expected the new show to much resemble the old variety show format of the original? I didn't. I wasn't expecting it to be anything like the original Muppet Show, so maybe that's why I like it. I really did enjoy it. Taser me for blasphemy if you feel you must, but I like the show and plan on watching future episodes. Life goes on, even for the Muppets, and I think letting them play with plot-driven format is a logical extension for today's audiences. Instead of wishing the show was like it used to be, I'm enjoying it for what it is. Maybe someday there will be another Muppet variety show, and I'll most likely enjoy that too. But for now, I'm just going to sit back and laugh. And that is correct.
That's what we need to have Julie on the page more often. She agrees with everything you say.
Yes, accurate.
You guys are the same mind on that issue.
But yeah, I was ready to hate it. As a hardcore Muppet fanboy, I was ready to say they really missed the mark. But I don't think they did.
And if they did go all kitty, like, they probably would have missed the mark.
Yeah. And I think really it's anchored in the characters, and the characters are all still there playing their roles.
Yeah, that's what would be important.
Yep, and that's the important part.
So are you going to be watching this every week?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to have a little Muppet corner at the end of each episode. Just a quick little recap. What do you thought?
But yeah, Julie, I completely agree with you. Thank you for taking time to write all that on our page and putting a great Sam the Eagle photo with the word twiddle under it.
Twiddle.
Check it out, everyone. I fully support this show.
Well, that is our episode for today. Hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Internet, and we'll see you again next week.
Stay nerdy, my friends. All right. Do you want to start off trailer reviews? Start on me.
Sure. This week in trailer...
I was like, asking you which one, and you're like, sure.
Sure, let's do this.
A red car or blue car? Yes. Okay, perfect.
Leroy Jenkins. Hey, go ahead.
No, please go.
All right, fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't care.
Okay, fine. I'll do it.